Hello, my name is Chenyang. I'm a bachelor candidate at Tianjin Foreign Studies University. The paper I will be presenting today is titled Research on the Impact of Systemic Risk on the Economic Development of a Country. The content will be separated into 5 parts: the background, literature review, case study, financial network analysis, and solution. For the first part, background. In the last 100 years, we've experienced many different financial crises, such as the Great Depression from 1929 to 1933, and the 2000 subprime mortgage crisis happened in the US, which raised massive awareness of the systemic crisis. So, the study of the financial network will be very important for us to know more about how it works and how to prevent the future systemic risks. For the literature review, financial contagion is a kind of spillover effect. Through the effect of financial network, it can not only be spread in its own country, but can also be spread to other countries and to all over the world. Also, the financial network, for the linkages, if it has many linkages, then the risks can be diversified, while if the amount of linkages is fewer, then the network system will become less resilient and become more easily affected by the financial contagion. What's more, the impacts of the financial networks on the systemic risk can be through interliability, portfolio overlapping, and share cross-holding. At last, the contagion effects on financial markets can not only have its own impacts on the financial network, but also can have significantly bad influences on the real economy, and that will also usually lead to the financial crisis. Next, let's do our case study of the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. First, it happened in the US. After the internet bubble in 2000, the Federal Reserve adopted the expansionary monetary policies to boost the economy. And the low interest rate for the subprime mortgage borrowing also motivates lots of poor people and different people from all walks of life to borrow the subprime mortgage. And later on, different credit derivatives occurred, like the credit default swap, collateralized debt obligation. They are all packaged in order to transfer the risks. After all the risks are transferred and nearly nobody knows where the risks are. At one time, the Federal Reserve know the problem of it and try to lower down the interest rate. So it do it by doing the open market operations to lower down the federal funds rate. And that led to the bubble to break down. And that led to the problem of the bad loans, and the banks cannot receive the loans back. So lots of banks went into bankrupt, such as the Lehman Brothers and also other different banks. At the 2008, the fourth quarter, the GDP in the US declined by 6.1%. And many people went jobless, and that led to a very bad, severe situation. Next, let's do a simple financial network analysis. We can see from this graph, this is a networks of financial services in the year 2012. From this graph, we can see that there are some big nodes like the US and Great Britain, which play a relatively more significant role in the whole overall world financial network. Let's imagine that if in 2008 and the crisis happened in the US, and because of the big influences of the US, the big nodes, the financial contagion can be spread through the financial network. For example, through the linkages between the US and Great Britain to spread to the Great Britain, and the Great Britain can also spread its financial risks through its financial network among its subgroups among the Euro members, European countries. And that just by spreading from these subgroups to another subgroups, the financial network risks can finally reach to all over the world, to every corner. Next, we will see these two graphs. One is about the network density, another will be the weighted centralization index. The first index indicates how the different nodes interact with each other. So if it's higher, then it means like the influences on each other will be more important. So we can see from this graph that for the financial sector during these decades, the network density becomes more and more. So that means the financial contagion happening in one node may have more significant impact on the other nodes than before. And for the second one, the weighted centralization index, we can see the financial sector during these nearly 20 years kept at a very stable level, so that the financial risks are not diversified enoughly, and that still needs our attention to solve the potential problem of the financial risks. At last, there are some possible solutions to this problem. First is to revise on the role of control of credit and strengthen the level of transparency, and working out how to prevent and control the safety of financial computer system. Then we also need to boost the education to raise the massive awareness of the financial safety, to further promote the integration and the new wave of digital technology and traditional financial services. What's more, we also need to address the problem of potential spread of contagions in the large nodes and have a complete and mature financial framework in them. And we also need to, like we mentioned before, to improve the overall education, not only in the other sciences, but also to put more emphasis on the education on the financial safety. And last, the laws of supervising the financial sector also need to be refined furthermore. And this page shows the reference list of this paper. That's all. Thanks for listening.